The deeper you go, the dollars will flow. So you can reframe the shift as today I'll, teach your brain today to revalue what you already have and what you offer. And these are literal offers, but also you self, your wisdom, your heart, how you hold space, the fact you're an empath, the fact you've been through shit, the fact you understand your ideal client, the fact that you know how to really help them with that area of your life. And I want you to do that before you start going, I need to do another offer. I need to do another thing. When you fall back in love and reconnect yourself in a deeper level, your experience, your expertise, your skill set, your gifts, you cannot avoid attracting new people. What if I told you your next financial breakthrough isn't 90 days away, isn't 2 years away, that it's only 2 days away? What is your brain telling you right now? Well, how is that possible? I don't know if I believe that. Some of you do believe it because you've experienced things or you've witnessed things in other people. But most people think money growth takes months of hard work. But neuroscience proves your brain can rewire its perception of wealth almost overnight. In this episode, I'm breaking down the 3 unconventional money moves no one's talking about, the ones that can activate your next level of abundance faster than anything else. These are things that I regularly use myself. These are things that I have taught to tens of thousands of people, to where you start even going, wow, do I have a magic money wand or something? This is insane. But they're delicate and you can't half-ass them if you want the full-ass juicy results. And I know that's what you want, honey. You want that sweet money, honey. So let's do it. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. Straight up, I'm not running on matcha today. I am running on fumes, but it's in the best of ways. I am depleted from pouring out to the 10,000 of you who registered for my cash flow content accelerator, my one-time only 2-day free live mastermind. And I got to tell you, you showed up. I have never seen so many people follow through with their homework, be committed, and join my program so quickly. My brand new program, Selling at Scale, is ready and available for you to enroll for the pre-launch sale. So this is where you get $1,000 off. And then on top of it, you get additional money off when you pay in full. But the bonuses are insane. They're legit elite. You are getting Coach Tiff AI. We have been programming Coach Tiff AI for 2 years with my emotional-based sales techniques, all of my profitable content systems and formulas, so that you can showcase and share and sell your offers in a way that feel good to you and feel good to your ideal client, and you can customize it. Then on top of it, you're getting an additional live masterclass that we're doing, which is really gearing into that video content, what you need to do to create profitable, high converting video content, whether it's pre-recorded or live. And then on top of that, I am for the first time ever unveiling inside of a course that's inside Selling at Sale, my 6-figure membership, how you can create one for any type of business, whether it's a subscription service or it's a membership like my ProjectME Posse business coaching membership that generates on average $500,000 a year in trade of 7 hours of work from me a month. I think that's a pretty damn good trade-off. You can go to projectmewithtiffany.com/pre-launch sale, projectmewithtiffany.com/pre-launch sale. You can swipe up, access the link in the show notes here in the description on YouTube at Project Me TV. And this is not something to go, oh, I'll do it later. I don't know. I invested in this other thing. I get it. Okay. I have invested probably close to $1 million and stuff over the course of me being an entrepreneur for many years, where I got shim-shammed by people, or I bought into some fantasy marketing. My grandmother used to call it, some people are just really good with the mouth. Like they give you a lot of word salad, and I bought into it because I wanted to find like the easier way. I've done a lot of that kind of stuff in the health and weight loss area of my life. I've just made decisions where I was wrong or where someone was okay, but then they went off the rails, even in hiring people for my team or employees. So this is part of business. You are going to also make investments in things that don't work. This happens if you are investing in the stock market, or even if you're someone who has a job, you'll go take a job somewhere and realize it's not for you. But then what that does is it gets you more clear and focused on what you are about. And even though it's infuriating, and I totally get it, where you're going to lose and the most expensive thing is to go, well, I'll just figure it out myself. I'll just reverse engineer, I guess, and study Tiff's stuff and like reverse engineer her thing and like kicking the can down the road because I don't have the stomach or the palate to invest in more in order to do the thing. That's a choice of yours. You can do that. But that's not an income generating activity. And I've had that thought myself, usually for like a week. And then I come to my senses because there is no plan if you don't know how you're going to sell at scale, how you're going to get hundreds and even thousands of people buying your offers, whether it's a book, whether it's a digital course, whether it's your retreats, whether you're doing a group coaching program. If you do not learn that skill and those techniques of packaging offers, sharing offers, showcasing offers, and selling, you're not going to have a business. And I'm straight up blunt. And if you don't like this style, then you're not going to like this show either. I feel it is my duty and my job to tell you the straight up facts because you've heard enough bullshit out there, and the bullshit might sound nice. It sounds fluffy. You can just sit back and manifest and like do a couple things, only the things that feel aligned with your gifts. And then you're going to just have money pouring in. That is bullshit. That's their fantasy marketing tactic. Now, I'm not saying you have to exhaust yourself and you have to sacrifice your well-being. I do not want you to do that. I built my first business that way, and that is not sustainable either because you reach a glass ceiling of energy, but you're reaching a glass ceiling of your time. You're reaching a glass ceiling of the amount of people you can help if you don't learn to sell at scale, which is why this has been a long awaited for program. Some of you may have heard of Selling with Soul, which is my signature program, and that's more like high ticket one-on-one sales. This is the perfect complement to that if you have done that other program before. And it's absolutely great to do it on your own. All the details, Virgo style, are on the page with tons and tons of testimonials. And what I will say is this, if you are not willing to dedicate time, attention, and passion into learning the core key skills that are necessary in order for you to grow your business and attract more of your ideal clients and have them excited and eager to buy from you, you're honestly not cut out to have a business or even be like an affiliate or network marketer, because you have to care enough about your people to want to learn the skill to get in front of more people. I care enough about you that I really take it seriously with all the years I've done this podcast and how can I make it better? How can I serve more? Same inside of my membership. What can I do to make it better? What can I do to connect more with you to even get you better results and better results because I'm in it with you. I'm in it for the long haul. This isn't like a quick hit and run. And some people are in it for that. That's not my game. I'm here to go the distance with you. But you have to make a decision that you're doing an all-in play because toe dipping ain't going to get you there. And truly, that's a bonus tip that I'm giving you with today's episode on the stuff that no one tells you about and how we are going to shift your money energy in 48 hours is that you have to make the decision and unsubscribe to the old version of you who believed this, who operated like this, who did this when they were scared, who's risk adverse, blah, blah, blah. I'm unsubscribing to that. You get to decide to be a new person at any moment. That's up to you. No one can do it for you. Okay. And I'm someone who's saying that who's whacking the mind. I have a lot of stuff to work against. My ego is very strong from having complex PTSD. I am always looking for certainty when there is nothing that's truly certain in life. So I operate in a way that is highly unusual. And the fact that I can do it shows that this stuff works, what I'm teaching you today, but it will not work if you do not set yourself up to stack the odds in your favor to have success and stop toe dipping, stop half assing, and then wanting and trying to manifest full ass results. That's spiritual entitlement. That's not going to happen. You were given these gifts, you were given these goals, you were given these desires, you were given the experiences and this wisdom for a reason, not to gatekeep it, but to share it with the world. And the fact that you have a desire to monetize it and to help people, that's a beautiful thing. That's not a selfish thing. Haven't you ever noticed that people rarely show up fully for themselves? I'm talking full on if something's free or if something's cheap. Money is a powerful energy. It gets people off their ass, gets them moving, including myself, and gets them following through so they can get the results that they want. So it's not selfish. It's how you help propel people and you help surge them into action. All right. So the first shift that you're going to be making is a neural value recalibration. It sounds very geeky. So I'm going to give you the raw and crude version as best as I can, given that I am tired. Like after this, I'm going to go and beach rot. And if you're watching on ProjectME TV, you see the beach behind me. It's a gorgeous day here. And I'm going to go just lay there and soak up the sun and just chill and truly allow myself to feel, wow, all of these souls, all of you incredible people who I had the privilege and the honor to be able to help over those 2 days and continue to help as my 10 percenters, you know who you are. I said in the training, there are 10% of you who are going to follow through and go the distance with this. And then there's 90% of you who are going to make a choice to buy into your excuses. This is not Tiffany math. Yes, I've seen this over the 18 years of being an entrepreneur and in coaching more than 150,000 people, but this has also been studied. And the great thing is we get to decide, are we the 10% or are we the 90? And you get to change it. I used to be part of the 90 club at a point in my life, okay? And then I made a decision. I don't want to be in that club. That club's not going to get me the abundance I want. That club doesn't feel good. That club keeps me in an icky energy. That club kind of keeps me, it kind of gives the illusion that I'm safer in this club. But ultimately, I'm not safer because I'm not truly expansive and living the life I want to live. And I don't just mean like money and lifestyle. I mean true like inner peace and freedom and joy and fulfillment and having the options. So decide right now as you're listening to this, am I going to be the 10% and showing up for what it is that I want in my life? Or am I going to revert back and be one of the 90% who just allows myself to continue kicking the can down the road, using all sorts of excuses and justifying why I can't do this, that, and the other? That's a choice. You can do that. It just doesn't work. I promise you. Okay, I tried it for many years. All right, neuro value recalibration. Your brain is constantly doing value normalization, okay? Comparing options, weighing reward versus cost, discounting future gains, the risk assessment, like the what ifs. And many people undervalue what they offer or over discount future rewards. Don't worry, I'm going to give examples. The shift is about deliberately retraining your brain to see more value in both your own offers and in opportunities around you. Okay. Most money advice features like raising your price, adding features, marketing more, but they ignore the brain's internal value filters. So in neuroeconomics, decision value is represented in your circuits and your dopamine reward pathways that respond to not just reward size, but expectation, context, comparison, reference points. So people habitually anchor too low. Their internal reference point is like everything feels risky, whether it's something you are actually offering to your people or it's you making assessments about like being in selling at scale. So then everything feels risky in life, or even posting the video feels risky, or starting the podcast or the blog. But you can override that internal framing because once your brain is seeing higher value in yourself and in your offers, everything begins to feel possible and then you act accordingly. When things feel risky, you're going to act as though everything is risky. And think of that energy when something feels it's hesitant energy, it's reluctant energy. Do you think there's any abundance in that energy? Absolutely not. So I want you to identify your current money anchor. So my highest paid client was like $2,000 and I want you to shift it upward. I like go to like visualize going to five or $10,000. Now, I don't want you stretching it so far that your ego's like, that's never going to happen for me. Even if you can do like $500 increments, I'm okay with that. But I really want you to visualize like people pay this for my stuff. This many people come into my programs. There's no way I can't have a group coaching program that has 15 people, 50 people, 150 people, like 250 people, 500 people. But it won't happen if you don't believe it. So for 30 minutes, brainstorm deals or clients you would normally think are too big, like the type of person that you really want to help, that you always tell yourself, well, I only have like broke people in my audience, or I don't have access to those people. Let your brain taste that possibility without judgment. Let it dance in that. Why not? You let it dance on the other side. You certainly spend a ton of time with the doom side of it. Like what's the opposite of doom scrolling? Like let's not doom scroll. Let's zoom scroll, meaning let's zoom in on the possibility. Let's really sit in and like chew on that and overthink on that. Practice reframing an existing like offer of yours that you have by retelling the story of transformation and going, what is the benefit here? What is the benefit that my ideal client gets by buying this thing of mine, by joining my program, by working with me privately, by coming to my retreat, from buying some of my jewelry? What is it? What do they get? And really sink into that. Why did I create this in the first place? What did I get by doing this, by wearing this, by being exposed to this, by learning this? And then you really stretch that value lens. You're like using one of those fancy lenses on a camera where you can get like close-up shots of like the ocean from super far away that are so beautiful and crisp and detailed. That's how much I want you to laser in on it. And sit with an offer you feel kind of underwhelmed by. Maybe it's something where you're like, no one's bought this, or I've had a couple dozen people buy this before, but that's it, or nothing with any consistency. And ask yourself, what else is in here that I'm not counting? What future upside? What hidden leverage? What added value? What secondary benefit am I ignoring? Am I leaving out that people get as a result of doing X, Y, and Z? And I want you to go deep with it. And you know what I say. The deeper you go, the dollars will flow. So you can reframe the shift as today, teach your brain today to revalue what you already have and what you offer. And these are literal offers, but also you yourself, your wisdom, your heart, how you hold space, the fact you're an empath, the fact you've been through shit, the fact you understand your ideal client, the fact that you know how to really help them with that area of your life. And I want you to do that before you start going, I need to do another offer. I need to do another thing. When you fall back in love and reconnect yourself in a deeper level with the value of yourself, your experience, your expertise, your skill set, your gifts, you cannot avoid attracting new people because people feel that energy. And then out of you having that renewed energy, you show up differently. You actually behave differently, which we're going to get to something that I put together that really changed my life this year. This was a tough year for me, and I know it was a tough year for a lot of people. And I feel it's really important to share that right now. Okay. If you behave differently because you know what you're sitting on and you're like, I'm sitting on a gold mine. My intellectual property is a gold mine. My audience is a gold mine. I don't give a shit. If I hear one more person say, I only have 400 people in my audience, 400 people? I didn't have 400 people when I started my first business. First of all, I didn't have social media. I built it the traditional way, but I didn't have 400 contacts. I didn't need 400 contacts. You're forgetting. You're focusing on what you don't have, or I need to have more followers. I need to have more engagement. I need to have more of this. I'm telling you to flip it and focus on what you do have because you fucking do have it. Because I know that I had it and you've forgotten. You've just gotten sidetracked and went off to some never land to convince yourself of all the things that you don't have and just beat yourself down and shame yourself. And then you're behaving out of that space. So no wonder nothing's working. When you know what? It is time for me to rise. I am the 10%. I do have the gifts. I know that the world needs this. I know my ideal clients absolutely will highly benefit from working with me, from buying from me, from using my products. Well, then it would be a no brainer for you to learn the actual skill set of selling at volume and being able to position and price and package your offers at scale. It'd be like, why wouldn't I do that? First of all, it's a tax deduction to take my program. Second of all, I have included insane payment plans to take away any resistance of, I don't want to spend that money right now. I can't afford it. Any of that bullshit. You can't use any of that. Once you go to the page and you'll see why. Everything that you need is in there as long as you are willing to show up and do it. And this is the only time I'm teaching every single module live ever, period. You're getting me live the entire time. So this truly is a one-time only chance. This is not something like, oh, Tiffany's going to offer this in December, in March. And no, this selling at scale will only be offered once a year, but it'll never be offered fully live like I'm doing it now. And so you want to be able to work with the best of the best. And this is my area of expertise. I have a lot of shit I'm not good at, but this is stuff that I'm in total conviction of. I want you to join me at projectmewithtiffany.com/pre-launch sale. All the links of what I'm talking about today are in the show notes. You can swipe up on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and then on YouTube, go into the description and it's there. And let's do this thing. But if you're sitting back and going, oh, I don't have this, I'm not confident enough at this, I'm afraid of that. Well, yeah, you're not going to do shit. And how is that working for you? Okay. I'm going on. We're moving on. I go off on tangents. If you're new to the show, welcome. I'm over here. Move to emotional risk tolerance. So you're going to reorganize your emotional relationship to financial risk so you can act faster and not freeze. This one changed my life. This one took me from thousandaire to multi-millionaire because I'm a scaredy cat, as we talked about. I'm looking for certainty, 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 certainty. Well, there are no guarantees in life or business, okay? And I want certainty. And Tiff here doesn't have a backup plan, okay? There is no family member. There is no rich hubs, okay? Like, I don't think I would end up on the streets, but like the backup plan is the bank of Tiff. And so then that can bring up a lot of stuff, right? It's not like I can go and sleep on grandma's couch. And some of you are very blessed to have all of that. And that's beautiful. I don't have that. So I had to do a lot of work in this area. At its core, growth, big offers, scaling, starting always carries a risk. The difference between those who go big and those who stall, it's not always strategy. It's how your brain handles risk, uncertainty, and emotional fear. The shift is about increasing safe emotional tolerance for financial risk so you can make bold moves in 48 hours or at least set them into motion. So many coaches talk about like overcoming fear and I'll even say like you've got to move with fear. If you wait for the fear to go away, which I did, which is why it took me 10 years to start this podcast and the Business Coaching Academy. Okay, like I was waiting, I don't know, that suddenly the fear would be gone and then I would know is my magical time, which never happened, by the way. You have to learn how to move with it, especially if you're someone who can end up in fear a lot. But few people teach how to recalibrate risk thresholds in real time. So I want to quote Denise Shull in Neuroeconomics and Trading Psychology. She argues that emotions are not enemies, they're signals. So you don't silence them, you use them. So when I feel fear, I'm not going, oh, this means I'm not supposed to be doing anything and I need to like make that go away and I'm not going to be able to pursue what I want to do or invest in growing my business because I'm feeling this thing, and like that's going into a total freeze response. Truly, it's like kind of like a trauma response. Instead, what fear shows me is that I am going in the right direction. I'm not talking about fear like you get spidey senses about someone that they're shady or dangerous, okay? We're not talking about that. I'm talking about the fear of, ooh, this is big. This is going to be a lot. Can I really do this? Is this really going to work? How am I going to do this? Am I delulu for thinking this is going to work? Am I going to screw myself? Am I setting myself up for failure? Like all that stuff is what I'm talking about. That's when you're expanding. That's exactly the kind of thought processes that go on when you're expanding. It's kind of like at the gym or in like Pilates or whatever, when there's an exercise you loathe, and any form of a lunge, I hate, by the way. I really hate lunges. But guess what? In order to strengthen my knees, in order to like really improve the health of them, the lunges are absolutely crucial for me to do. It's why they're so painful, because I'm kind of weak in those supporting muscles. So it's very similar into where you need to lean into the fear and take the contrary action, because that is where you are going to be a match for your next level of money, not by retreating and holding back and in avoidance. Do you think there's abundance in avoidance? Absolutely not. Elite investors, traders, and high performers, they don't eliminate fear. They normalize it. They interpret it. And they act despite it in calibrated ways. So once your tolerance for emotional volatility increases, you will begin to act on bigger ideas and pitches and offers and experimenting and testing stuff and showing up differently online and like going bigger with stuff. Like even with this selling at scale launch, I was terrified to do it. And I don't remember if I shared it in another episode, or I think I shared it in an email to you guys. If you're not on my email list, you should be. And I was sharing how it almost didn't happen because my launch for my other program that's at the beginning of the year, there was an unpredictable, insane tech snafu, like shocking. It cost me basically $1 million. Okay. And there was nothing we could have done for it. Like none of us were prepared for it. We were all shooketh for it. And it rattled the fuck out of my Virgo business growth strategy ass who has a plan for a plan. And I do that with all my and my students. We make sure we got a plan A, B, C, and D. And if you're not sure where there's a plan my motto here at ProjectME is there is always a way. Because you know what? When you believe there's always a way, there's always a way. But guess what? God had other plans, man. God had plans to shooketh me. God had plans to humble me. God had plans to take me to my knees. And now that I'm just on the other side of it, that had to happen. And I am now why that had to happen. And then I got tested in my faith because I had truly been avoiding being a little bit lazy, maybe even a little complacent, because I am successful and I don't have to do anything at this point. It's I want to, but I got lazy, and lazy is not an abundant quality. We don't want to be lazy, like luxuriating, yes, but lazy, no. And I was avoiding doing this program that everyone has asked for truly like probably 4 years. And I had the name for it, the selling at scale. And I was like, putting together a program like this, a robust program, a 5-week program where I'm doing all the modules and I have to have everything planned out. Like putting together something like that is fun, but it's also tedious. And then once you have it done, it gets, easier and easier. But like I pour my heart and soul into it. And I was kind of avoiding it. I came up with excuses about energy, that I've been knocked around a lot and I didn't have the power. It was all bullshit. And I was afraid to do this launch because of what happened in the last launch. And I didn't feel like I had it in me to be wildly caught off guard, shooketh, and disappointed again. Like there's been so much disappointment in 2025 in my life, outside of my life, and world affairs that I was like, I don't think I can handle it. But you want to know what? That's selfish. What are we here to do? Those of us who are good, honest, high integrity people who are heart based entrepreneurs, we're here to help the collective. We're here to help the greater good. How do we get control back of our lives? How do we stop feeling trapped? How do we feel empowered? Well, one of the main ways is having money, having some fuck you money. And that is what I teach. And now more than ever is when people need someone like me to tell them what's up, actionable advice. This is how you do it. This is a proven plan. Plan the work the plan, get better and better at it, make more money, income generating skills, period. Let's go. And that's what made me do it. But was I afraid? You're damn right I was afraid. And day one of my training, the chat didn't work. The chat was disabled and there was nothing we could do about it live. Once you're live, you're live. It's a shitty feature of Zoom webinar or whatever. And I remained calm. It's a test in faith. So you've had failures, you've been sidewhacked, you've had lots of shit happen, and you can choose to stay and freeze and stay small because that feels safer, because you don't want to take the risk again and it not pay off again. And that is one way of controlling it. But then you're also guaranteeing that you won't win and that you won't have the abundance and you won't help the people. And at a certain point, that's not going to feel good either. You're going to feel like a quitter. You're going to feel like lazy and it's going to be an icky energy. So I want you to distinguish between emotional alarms that are valid versus emotional residue, like like old money trauma, right? Something that's truly risky, right? Like, okay, I wasn't going to use Facebook for the 2-day free live mastermind that I did because that's what had the major glitch, which we can't control Facebook. That's what had the glitch at the beginning of this year. So that would be stupid for me to go, let's just go back and try that again and hope it doesn't happen again. And even though the likelihood is it probably wouldn't happen again, but my nervous system wouldn't like that. So that's me looking at something that's structurally risky, right? Versus me going, I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to do it this year. I'll do it next year. This year, I'm going to lick my wounds. That's emotional residue. That's old money trauma. So fear microdosing. I know some of y'all really like that microdosing. Do a small action that triggers discomfort. Post a bold offer. Ask for a higher price. Do the damn face-to-camera video. Send a more personal email. And sit with that discomfort for 10 minutes without retreating. Build that muscle. And I've done it many times with this show where I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. I need to delete this episode. And I have a rule that I have to wait 10 minutes and then see how I'm feeling. It's kind of like when you're eating and before you go get seconds, right? Like, let's just wait like 10 minutes or so and like see if I'm full. It's like, let's just wait. Let's not move so fast. Like slow your roll. And it's funny how that subsides. That doesn't mean I'm internally cringing a bit. And what? The stuff that you post, the stuff you put out there, the stuff that you create that you're the most like, this feels so, ugh. That's the stuff that does the best. because you're the most real. You're not performative. It's the most genuine. It's the most intimate. And that's why it gives you the heebie-jeebies. Develop internal fallback statements. This truly a great trick of mine. Even if this doesn't convert 100%, I'll learn something. I'll learn what I need to do better for next time. Okay? So you're speaking to that like inner child of yours as well at the same time. Or external supports. Make sure you have an accountability partner, which is why I love my membership, which is why I love how I structure my group coaching programs that are high touch inside Selling at Scale. Like, you develop really great, close, sincere relationships with other people who are in the same spot. And then your nervous system feels permissioned to risk. I'm permissioned to risk. I'll be okay. I'll be safe, secure, and supported no matter what. Reframe the emotional intensity. Rename fear and anxiety to, because we tend to, when we are in fear, we use these like big words, right? Like, I'm spiraling, I'm terrified. I'm guilty of it too. But let's maybe change it to like, ooh, I'm tingling about that. I'm stretching right now. I'm really stretching myself. I'm in a growing phase. Ooh, the growing pains are real. And everyone's different on what words are like lessened. But whatever we keep telling ourselves, we keep reinforcing to our nervous system. So you got to try to catch yourself. So instead, during this launch, instead of me saying, ooh, I'm terrified, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. Okay. I'm taking more risk, and it feels uncomfortable. So then when people are asking me how you're doing, I'm in that uncomfortable phase of a launch. I'm feeling squidgy. So you can make up a word. I love when you guys are translating the show. You're translating me in other languages because I make up words. I'm fascinated by what the translations are for me. I can't even imagine. Pre-commit to stretch bets. So commit publicly, like a social post, call it in your community, to a bold move you'll do in the next 48 hours. This externalizes the risk threshold, helps your emotional system lean into accountability. Because if it's just in your head and that's not working for you to do it, you need to put it out there somewhere so that you have accountability. Like, let's raise your emotional risk ceiling so your brain doesn't sabotage the bold moves that you're capable of. This is what I'm doing. I declare it to you guys on here, and I do it in my email. Because I know myself, I would never not follow through on something I'm promising you. If there was a delay in it because some crazy shit happened, that's okay. That's not what I'm talking about. But I would never not follow through. But if we keep stuff just in our heads and that's not working, then I need you to take a different approach, okay? And saying it to a friend and someone who's really not capable of holding you accountable, someone who's like can be a little coddly or enably, that's not going to work. So I you guys do that inside Selling at Scale. I have my private clients do that. It's like, okay, like, where are we going here? Like, let's declare where it is you want to go, and we're going to reverse engineer way there using actual fucking strategy. You don't need more information. You need to implement information. You need to put it into action. Action actually has a purpose. Action actually generates income. Action that moves the needle. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, and overnight. But what I will tell you is, between now and the end of the year, the trillions of dollars in sales that are going to be happening all over the world online between now and the end of the year, and you can look that up, that's a fact, okay? There is no reason you can't have 0.00002% of that, which is $100,000. That's not unreasonable. It's unreasonable, though, if you know it's done. It's not wackadoo money. It's fair and reasonable, extremely, even if you're starting from scratch. But it's a matter of, are you going to invest in yourself in learning how? And I don't just mean in money, but invest in time, invest in focus, invest in doing what I'm teaching you here today. Okay? Because here's what happens. If you are not going to determine that you are now this certain type of person, I'm the type of person that is going to get this. I'm the type of person who has a renewed focus. You don't have to claim you're something you're not. Like if you're an ADHD person who struggles with focus, I don't want you to say I'm this super focused person now. No, I am determined to work with my very unique brain and all of the benefits from it and use it to my advantage. And I'm going to figure out a way, no matter what. I'm committed to learning a way. There is always a way, and decide that you're that 10%. Not wonder, you get to claim that. And when you determine and decide, then you behave and act accordingly. But the problem is, for a long time, and some of you've just been in it for a few weeks, we can all slip in and out of it. Even people who are highly successful like me, okay, we can all get sidewacked, that you will end up behaving and acting based on whatever stories and loops that you're on. And we got to get you off the track. You're on a fucking shit track. You're on a track to Broketown. We need to get you in the abundance zone, and we want to get you on the fast track for that. But that's up to you. I can't make you do that part, but I need you to do that part. Okay? Third shift, neuroalignment, grid activation. I know, very geeky terms, but these are real. And I want you to know these are science-based for that ego of yours going, this isn't possible. Align your neural networks, your values, your brain states, your external actions into a grid that accelerates results. So the shift is about creating neural coherence across your inner values, your emotions, your external strategic actions, so your brain and body don't fight itself. So you're not in this push pull. I'm all in. I'm going to do selling at scale. Oh no, what if it doesn't work for me? I've invested in other things before. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be on the cover of Forbes. Oh my God. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm good at tech. I don't know if I can do this. Who am I to do this? My engagement sucks. Blah, 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 blah. That's that insane push pull going on. In practice, many entrepreneurs launch initiatives that conflict with their deeper wiring, and they're generating internal resistance or energy leakage, and they don't even necessarily know it. So this move is about synchronizing what you believe, how you feel, and what you do, so your system is pulling you in one direction, the direction to the abundance zone, not the direction to Broketown, USA. Or worse, stuck land. And you don't see even, that's purgatory. You're not in hell. You're not in heaven. You're in purgatory, and nothing happens there. That alignment triggers a kind of flow amplification that feels like your brain and business and next level of money and your timeline jump, your quantum leap are unlocked. And I experienced that very recently. I'm just on the other side of it. And I've experienced it a couple other times in my life, and wow, is it powerful. But I did the things that I'm sharing with you today. It's not going to happen by you just listening to the episode and not implementing them. So neuroscience shows that networks in the brain, your prefrontal cortex, your limbic system, your reward circuits, they must work in synergy. So conflict creates cognitive dissonance. It creates friction. It creates energy loss. So you're in tug of war. That's like sitting in a rocking chair all day, rocking back and forth, and you're going nowhere, but you're expending a lot of energy. It's even more so because you're yanking back and forth. Like, even think of that. Like, that's like you're playing ping pong your brain, or you're surrendering and trusting the universe and trusting God. Now you're taking the surrender back, and you're turning it over and taking it back. You're letting it go. You're taking it back. You're in fear. You're out of fear. Oh my God. No wonder you're tired. Brain health experts propose that your brain capital, so your ability to use your brain effectively, is your competitive edge. And so you've got to do things to get yourself out of wasting energy and having energy leakages of the push and pull. It's better to just make the decision, you know what, fuck it. I'm doing it. Fuck it, I'm doing it. That doesn't mean you don't listen to your body and make a determining factor of, like, you know, someone's unsafe, or this is way too far stretch. I'm not talking about that. But at a certain point, when you're really doing a push pull, it's time to fucking push. That's when you're supposed to lean in and do the thing. If you take nothing from this episode, it's that. I was in the tug of war about doing this launch, about doing the free training. I've never had 10,000 people for training. We've gotten like to 8,500, 10,000 people. That's insane. That's incredible. And all the people pouring into selling at scale and the people who are the 10 percenters. And I've never had, my entire team is like, holy shit. These people are doing their homework. They're posting it. They're on it. They're posting it quickly. They took it seriously. People are posting the videos. People are getting tons of results just from the free thing because they followed through. I knew they'd get results, but what I can't help is people follow through, but the 10 percenters showed up. They really did. So you need to just stop the push pull. If you are going back and forth on something, that's a sign you should just fucking do it. Should I leave the relationship? Should I stay? Should I leave? That's a different story. But if you've been going back and forth for a long time, it's time to go. If you've been going back and forth for a long time on to start, on to work with me, on to post the video, on to join TikTok shop, on to take your business to another level, to go after your dream of being a public speaker, whatever the fuck it is, do it. Dyeing your hair purple, whatever, do it. You'll see what's on the other side. Okay? This shift makes these decisions feel easier and the obstacles dissolve and then the momentum is so much smoother because now you can exhale. You've done it. You've gone. You've stepped forward. You've made a move. You're not jogging in place. All right? So I want you to list your top 3 values. The 3 things that are truly most important to you. Like for me, it's freedom, the opposite of feeling trapped. It is being of service, great service to others. That's absolutely important to me. And integrity. What I say and do match, period. And I want you to audit your next 48 hours of actions. Just take a look at them. I'm saying these are my values. Are actions and behaviors matching them? And my guess is they're not. If you're in a lot of disruption, if you're in discomfort, if you are not getting results that you want, there's no way that you don't have a misalignment going on. And I'm including myself, okay? I had a misalignment. I wanted to make sure I saw it and was on my knees and humbled by it. And I saw it. I felt it. Use short neurocoherence exercise to bring your internal state into a calm, high frequency before major actions. Go on one of my abundance walks. Take a abundance bath. Light some candles. Do something that feels calming to you. That's why you get immediately when you join Selling at Scale. I have my 90-day abundance zone journal and planner. And it is meant for you to use every single day for 90 days. And it's also designed for it to be fun to where you want to use it. And it can just even be for 5 minutes. This doesn't have to be a whole thing. But that's an action that's in alignment for the values you want, right? Versus I wake up and scroll in the morning. That doesn't work. You being in avoidance of learning how to actually grow your business and you playing cheap with your dreams, that's definitely not in alignment. Writers speak a short contract. And it needs to be short so you remember it. I'll put it on a Post-it note, and I have terrible handwriting, but I'll put on a Post-it note, put it on a mirror. Sometimes I take a dry erase and put it on my mirror. And here's an example of one. From this moment forward, I align my action to my highest value. I release inner conflict and I trust myself, but I need it to work for you, right? I now act in integrity. My actions, words match. I'm an active manifester. Even though I may feel fear, I work with it and I lean in towards the actions that will get me to where I want to go. So you need to write that out. Micro consistency triggers. I want you to design one small daily practice. It can just be 1 minute of something that you do that brings you back in, that grounds you so you don't float away and stop doing this after 3 days. So If you're in selling at scale, you use my 90-day abundance journal, and that's not available anywhere else right now. And you just can print it out. You can also just use it digitally if that feels better. But maybe asking yourself, like, what feels like the next right move for me? Maybe that's even too big of a question for you. But I want you to come up with one daily 1 minute practice. It's like an inventory check in with yourself to keep you on track. All right. Like you want to really ask yourself, what actions and behaviors do I need to take today that are really in alignment with the vision that I want for my life, the vision I want for my business, what I want to do for the greater good of the world and myself. And if not, then you recalibrate. Then you take a look at that and you make a shift. And I know some of these things probably seemed a little heady to you, or probably have to listen to this again, but I'm not going to give you some basic shit over here. This is the stuff that really works. And I know you like stuff when it goes deep, and it is that deep, but it can be that simple. And this gets to work in 48 hours. Like doing my abundance walks, when I tell you they're designed to work in 3 minutes or less, they really do. It really gets to be that, but you have to actually do them for them to work. But there was a period this year where I got stuck in it. And if I didn't have a coach, and if I didn't have a therapist, and if I didn't have two people, trusted friends in my life, I don't have a big friend group, but if I didn't have two trusted friends in my life that I could be 100% raw, humble, and honest with, I could have stayed in that spot for a long time. And we might not even be talking here now. And certainly selling at scale wouldn't be out in the world. And then it wouldn't be helping all the people that it's helping. And then there wouldn't be the abundance that I get in exchange for that energy, in exchange for helping. And then how would that feel? How would I go through the rest of this year that I half-assed it, that I played scared, that I kept myself in avoidance? That is not an empowering feeling. That is not how I want to walk through this life. That is not how I want to walk through the end of this year. Hells no. I want to walk through feeling in conviction, feeling proud of myself for showing up regardless, leaning in when I wanted to lean out, doing the thing when the thing felt so scary, and it anyway, and showing up anyway, because that is when you succeed. That is why it's only 10% of people, because most people won't do it. They won't, but you get to decide. Maybe you were part of the 90% club, and that's okay. There was a time in my life I was too, and you get to determine it right now. I'm the 10%. I'm unsubscribing to the 90% club. I'm closing down my membership to that. I am now a member of the 10% club. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you so much. Go grab the pre-launch sale for selling at scale. All right. You don't want to miss this because it's $1,000 off on top of it. You can get in for as low as $297. Plus, only time ever, everything will be taught live, period, end of story. And if you want to know how to get actual volume of people buying your stuff instead of onesie twosies, or maybe you have a hot month, but then it like goes to almost nothing the next month, and you have no system or way of doing it, it's kind of relied on like luck and how much I talk about it and how much I do, and there's really no rhyme or reason to it, then this is your move. Let's go. I welcome you in. You will absolutely love it. And make a choice that'll change the rest of your life. Or make a choice that'll keep you exactly where you are and in the same place. And that's your decision. It's up to you. I hope to see you in there. You know where to access everything.